Well, hello, salam alaikum, and welcome to Abu Dhabi. Yes, we are live for qualifying 3 here at the amazing Yas Marina circuit in the United Arab Emirates. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please share this with your friends. Tell everyone that you're watching World Rallycross live. Just want to make sure no one gets run over by the very nice looking brand new RX Cartel Audis. That's Liam Doran's the one there. This is what the year's going to be like. We're going to have qualifying sessions, every single race of every single qualifying session live throughout the season. And also, don't adjust your set. We will normally do Saturday, Sunday race weekends, but of course the weekends here in Abu Dhabi are Friday, Saturday, which is why qualifying 3, then qualifying 4, then the semi-finals and the finals will all happen today over the course of the next few hours. As you can see, the cars are lining up, ready for qualifying 3. Let's have a look at where we are and where we're going this year. So, 10 rounds for 2019. Some new destinations in Europe, including Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. We go to Canada, we go to South Africa, and we start here in the Persian Gulf in Yas Marina circuit. Now, let's see if we can have a little wander to get a look at the cars. So, just things to look out for this season. We've got 8 different car brands represented. We've got some new teams, some new drivers, some classic drivers. Let's go over and have a word with Timo Scheider, actually, driving the Seat. Timo, do you mind if we just have a word with you live across the world? So if you have any message for all of your thousands of fans out there, now's the time to do it.
First of all, I would like to send a kiss to my kid and to my wife back home. So next time I would like to see you right here as well. But coming to the event, I have to say I'm mega pumped that we are part of the game again. And this was like a hard winter time for all of us. But right now, the championship became much better than expected, we have to be honest. And we have like 16 and 17 cars on the grid. And this is a proper championship now, I have to say. And 10 to 14 cars, very competitive.
And of course, there is 0 current or former champions in the paddock. So we will have a new champion this year. Your pace on day 1 here was very good yesterday. That must give you good hope for the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely. So this was, the 0 time, let's say, and you never know exactly where you are. You had good winter time while testing, but you never can expect anything. So until the moment you come to the track. And we had a good performance yesterday. We played a bit the tire game. So for the rest of the day, we hopefully are good set it for the tire choices. But yeah, let's see. We will send it now.
Okay, well, good luck.
Thank you, buddy.
Look forward to watching you. Now, just so you know, it is very hot here. I apologize to our friends watching in colder climes like the north of Europe. It's about 39 degrees air and that is about 50 degrees track temperature, so it will be tricky on the tyres. Anyway, qualifying 3 is only minutes away, so if you didn't see qualifyings 1 and 2, which were yesterday, here's something to get you up to speed.
The first qualifying session of the year at a brand new rallycross in Abu Dhabi with temperatures of more than 40 degrees Celsius to contend with. Andreas Backerud made the most of being in a familiar car, albeit with a new team. The Norwegian winning easily and taking the first ever heat race victory for Monster Energy RX Cartel. Kevin Hansen got a fantastic start and the whole shot in his race, but was chased hard by Timo Scheider throughout. Cyril Raymond suffered a retirement in his first race as a full-time World RX driver, hitting one of the big Abu Dhabi curbs and breaking his suspension. Kevin Hansen took the flag, going fastest so far with Scheider close behind. Anton Markham made the start of Q1 with this fantastic move across the grid from slot 5, taking the lead from GRX drivers Nitish and Timosyanov. Nitish jokered early to try and get past his teammate, but the super committed merge at Yas Marina went the way of the Russian. And then Sabo slipped up the inside of Nitish into turn 3. Markland took the flag. The final race of Q1 saw a great start for Timmy Hansen, avoiding the squabbling going on behind him. The Swede was clearly at one with his early 2018 spec Peugeot 208 and took the fastest time overall in Q1, but with Gronholm in the Hyundai i20 right behind him. On to Q2, the first ever World RX session held under light after dark. GCK Academy pair Guillaume de Ritter and Cyril Raymond were keen to make amends for a bad Q1 and had a great tussle through the first few corners. It wasn't to be, though. 1 lap later, Raymond was slowed by an issue, and De Ridder and Paul 3 crossed the finish line a lap early, resulting in penalties for both. Renis Nitish, however, had a fantastic Q2. After beating Bakiuska at the start, he checked out and set a time that was good enough for 3rd overall. The GCK team have worked hard on their starts over the winter, and Markland proved he could make either side of the grid work with another hole shot, this time from pole. Teammate and team boss Gerlan Shisharik got caught up in a scrap with Yanis Balmanis, with the result eventually going the way of the Latvian. Markland took a clear win with a great fight behind him. The best race of the day was between the quick guys in Q2. Timmy Hansen took the whole shot while Niklas Gronholm fought hard to hold P2. Backward snuck up into 3rd at the hairpin and then jokered on the very same lap to try and get some clean air, while Gronholm piled the pressure onto Hansen Sr. in the lead. When Gronholm and Kevin Hansen jokered, it became clear that Backward was flying. Timmy responded immediately by jokering to defend the lead, and it was close. No more passes were made, but it was clear this year is going to see some great fights. First blood, though, to Timmy Hansen, winning Q1 and Q2 to be the overnight top qualifier.
After everything that's happened through the winter, to get a start like this is more than we could have hoped for. So everything has been running perfectly. The car feels great. The team are working so hard and have worked so hard to come here, and for everything to flow this well as they've done today, it's amazing.
Confirmation of the result then, Timmy Hansen winning both sessions to take the overnight top qualifier from Andreas Backward and Kevin Hansen. Gronholm, Markland, Scheider, Nitish and Balmanis the top 8. Currently Bakiuska, Shisharik, Timazyanov and Sabo just inside the cut. Everyone else with work to do if they want to make the semi-finals.
Hey guys, how are we doing? Outdoor commentary box in Abu Dhabi. Mustn't grumble, it is quite hot here to say the least. There is 0 cloud cover today, and that has made a big difference, Dan. There's a strong breeze here, but it's literally like being hit by a hairdryer, and you've got a bit of a sweat on. These guys are really going to have to work for it today.
Yeah, it's super hot out there today. You know, we don't have that little bit of shade that was being provided yesterday, and especially on the tarmac as well, the tyres are going to get a pounding.
So we've got Q3 and Q4, of course, are going to take place while the sun is up. Yesterday, Q1 was in the sunshine, and Q2, of course, was after dark. So semi-finals and finals will be after dark. Interesting what Scheider was saying about a tyre game. All to play for. Looking forward to this. So I guess we're going to be able to head down to the grid pretty soon. That looks like Liam Doran's lid. Union Jack on the top, and the Monster Energy Brandon, of course. Monster Energy RX Cartel. There he is, the man himself. Umbrellas up. Rallycross umbrellas normally mean rain, Dan.
Yeah, it's certainly being used for a different situation this weekend, aren't they?
Too, it gives you a good idea of how windy it is, though. You can see how much the umbrella's being blown about. Also, you can see foil covers. So, Bachuska's car's got a foil cover on it, Timazyanov's as well. We know that the guys from GCK were running those too, just to try and keep the temperature in the cabin down. The paddock here is made up of tents, isn't it, which have a certain amount of air conditioning in them, so the conditions for the guys to prep the cars not quite so harsh.
No, it's not too bad. I mean, I know that the guys, you know, had one provided, and then the organisers came in and was like, it's too hot, we need to give them at least 2. So there's some teams with, like, I think some teams have also paid for have another air conditioning unit.
To try and keep the temperatures down, yeah. It really is hot. Certainly the first time we've seen temperatures like this in the World Rallycross Championship. So pulling onto the grid, we've got our first 3 cars, and these guys are all had their own stories from yesterday. We'll run you through them once we're underway. Bennett, the last of the cars, and I suspect the most relieved to actually be on the grid. Monster Energy girls are just coming onto the grid. It's going to be a short visit for them because the guys won't want to sit in the cars for very long. It is super hot. We'll get them launched off down to turn 1, and that will see Q3 underway. So ready then for Q3. Yesterday's grid randomised, that's a new thing for Q2 and Q3, said that the grids would be standard, and that means slowest fast. So yesterday in Q2 you saw the fastest drivers first, and that's in case track conditions develop. They don't really develop here due to the way it is so hot and so dry, but these guys need a decent performance if they want to make their way anywhere near to the semi-finals. We've got Paul Tree on the inside, Guillaume de Ridder and Oliver Bennett. So Paul Tree taking new boots for this one. Might as well, he needs to get himself up. He's in P15. Remember, the top 12 go through to the semi-finals. Left-hand side, middle of your screen, ready to race. Light is on. That's why you can hear the revs come up. That goes out, random gap to the green, there it is. Good start by all three drivers, de Ridder, but Paul Tree with a fantastic start up the inside. The start machine dragging it out down to turn one. Oliver Bennett going to try and go around the outside, mind that curb. Bennett cuts the corner. If he doesn't give the place up, I think the stewards will give him a penalty for that, Dan.
Yeah, he's got to be careful here. Obviously, he kind of had to cut over to avoid damage to the car, but really he should have given that back. He gained himself an advantage there.
De Ridder managed to get past Paul Tree on the run up into turn 3. So de Ridder now onto the back bumper of Bennett, and each of these guys has got their own story. So let's start with Bennett.
Yeah, so I don't know if anybody caught up on his Instagram story this morning, but I know his technicians were up until 5 o'clock this morning, and they had to completely strip the ECU of the car. Had an electrical throttle problem, so no running for him in Q2 yesterday.
De Ridder goes straight to the jungle. Now, De Ridder, yes, they had a problem with the radiator, where a piece of car off the bottom of Bennett's was that on the drop-off jump. So yeah, De Ridder yesterday, his radiator fan destroyed his radiator, and then we saw him in Q2, and there was fluid pouring from the back of the car, but he's just passed the commentary box and it looks okay. So him and Bennett both through to be here, and Paul Tree is here because Dan, him and De Ridder actually made a bit of a mistake of their own, didn't they, in their race yesterday?
Yeah, so I think those guys, you know, they're so busy with their hands, they can't use their fingers to count, and unfortunately they finished the lap.
Oh, Bennett! Bennett's over! Bennett clips the curb and rolls the Mini. He's back on his wheels. He clipped the curb on the inside. You can see the roof slightly flattened down. Going to need to get that car started and get going again. He does. Go on. Get it started, Oliver. So Oliver Bennett, yellow flag's waving. He's moving again. From the commentary position, we can see Bennett is moving in the Mini. It's a slow speed roll, but he took too much curb and he pulled the car off to the side of the track as you're looking at Paul Tree with Guillaume de Ridder right up behind him. So drama from the off in Q3.
That just goes to show how lethal these curbs are. You know, we were saying earlier about how big they are, and Ollie just got a little bit too greedy, and you know, it just turned the car over.
De Ridder with a normal line through turn 3, while Paul Tree was a little bit defensive. De Ridder really here needs Paul Tree to go to the Joker and release him, because at the minute De Ridder's faster, Tree makes a mistake, and now De Ridder's right up underneath him. Bennett's car popped to the right-hand side of your screens there. So what's going to happen here? Now, this is frustrating for De Ridder and Paul Tree's guys. Of course, they don't have to send him to the Joker. They can wait till lap 4 if they want, and that, you know, in theory, holds up De Ridder.
Yeah, so, I mean, big guide for De Ridder here, just not able to find a gap to get past. And again, Paul Tree's not going to the Joker lap, so De Ridder's going to try and have to find a way past him.
Tree sideways as he comes off the jump. De Ridder will be close to him again as they go through turns 1 and turn 2. De Ridder learning the ways of a supercar. We saw him make some fantastic passes last year in the RX2. Tree's locking up wheels left, right and centre.
Yeah, De Ridder's managed to get such good exit speed off of these corners. He's keeping himself nice and tidy and just applying the pressure to Paul Tree here.
So Paul Tree, nice and smooth. Oh, a bit sideways in there. Good lad, though. He's trying. Go on, Paul, get stuck in. Full sideways business. De Ridder right up underneath him. When Tree jokers, De Ridder will take him. But this will have cost Guillaume a little bit. But I think after yesterday, Guillaume de Ridder will be pleased to have got any running at all. So, say, problems with the cooling system all day yesterday. And then that issue where he missed a lap, unfortunately going straight on at the finish, as you'll see him do now. So watch De Ridder on the standard lap. He will go straight on over the finish line. And that's what they're allowed to do, which means we get a great drag race as Paul Tree crosses the line as well. We get a great drag race at the end of each race, basically, with plenty of runoff. So De Ridder takes it from Paul Tree, but I think the moment of the race, probably Oliver Bennett, whose team worked so hard to get the car ready, and unfortunately, he's been on its roof and back onto its wheels. Here's the result then for race 1 of Q3. Guillaume de Ridder 3:13.1. Yesterday the fast times were around 3:06, so there's a good 7 seconds to find there. A couple of those will be from being behind Paul Tree, definitely. Oliver Bennett, unfortunately, a DNF. I wonder if we'll see him at all in Q4. So there's bits of car out on the track. This is the first race, and take a look back and you'll see why there are bits of cars out there. Bennett trying to go around the outside in race 1 of Q3. This was de Ridder with a tidy pass at the inside of Paul Tree.
Yeah, good move there. He just saw the door open and he knew how to get his car in there.
It's a bit of a shame, actually, isn't it? Because when de Ridder then caught up with Bennett, here's Bennett taking too much curb, and look at that. He was in. That was a big attack on the curb, and actually, it's a fair old roll, isn't it? You can see damage to the rear right, damage to the front lip of the roof. We're going to see another angle of that, I wonder. I don't think we are. So there's Bennett's car getting recovered. Front right corner of the roof is slightly flattened down above the B of Bennett. Rear right corner, is the rear left arch missing?
I think that came off after the jump.
It did, so. Yeah. So the rear left arch actually is sitting in the road after the jump. I don't know if any of our cameras can get that, but the rear left arch of Bennett's car is in the road after the jump. We'll see if we can have a look for that. And Bennett is going to get dragged away.
Of course, we've got to hope for Ollie's sake that he hasn't bent his roll cage, otherwise, you know, he's not going to be allowed to race in Q4.
Yeah, so, well, let's see then. They're going to bring it back to the paddock and they will have a decent look at that. But Guillaume de Ridder, the race winner, is down with Neil Cole. Let's go and have a catch up with the Belgian and see how he feels after his first successful heat race.
Guillaume, you must be relieved to finally get a clean race done, finished and a win.
Yeah, so it's my first proper race in FIA World Rallycross, so I'm quite pleased with it. I've been a bit held up by the two guys in front of me, unfortunately, but yeah, I think it was a clean run. So let's go how it looks on the timing screen.
Yeah, it was a shame. You seem to be held up by Paul Tree a little bit, but he had fresher tyres on. How much is it difficult to manage the tyres in this heat?
In this heat, it's really difficult. You know, the supercar, there is a lot of torque, so you can easily destroy the tyres by just over pushing and hitting them up. So it's clearly something that will change the game here in Abu Dhabi.
Good luck later in Q4.
Thank you very much.
So Guillaume de Ridder then happy to have finished the race at least and having a better day than Oliver Bennett.
Yeah, I mean, most importantly is seat time for him in a supercar. You know, first season he needs to be getting as much time in the car and behind the wheel and experience of how the car handles differently to the RX2 car as he can. So he's going to be pleased to have finished the race.
We're going to be able to take another look back actually at Bennett's off. So let's have a look at Bennett in the Mini and the chicane on the far side of the circuit. Bringing the car back in. So this is Bennett. Look, it's quite tidy through the first part, but then he takes literally 3/4 of the curb. And Dan, it's the angle of the face of the curb will launch you if you take too much of it.
Yeah, it's quite a steep angle, and you know you could see he was just coming at it with speed, and there just completely pitched the car over, and the momentum flipped him back over onto his wheels again.
Now, if he hadn't had so much right lock on, because look at where Paul Tree and de Ridder are going, this is a really harsh right. Now that obviously then exacerbates the issue of hitting the curb with the right lock too.
Yeah, exactly. It just accelerates the rollover motion.
Bakkerud's fan club here. A number of them have flown out to Abu Dhabi to support him in the Bakkerud blue. Timo Scheider rolling up to the grid. Good to hear Scheider feeling so confident about things. I have to say that car looks ace. I really love the South Ibiza. The matte black carbon fibre look to it. He's the first one onto the grid. 4-car race this time round. Where was Scheider yesterday?
So we got Scheider was P4 in Q1 and then down in P11 in Q2. So maybe some problems yesterday for him in Q2. We'll see how his running is here for Q3.
He didn't mention it, did he, earlier on? I thought he might mention that he'd had, because Q2 definitely wasn't as fast as we've seen Timo go. Timo, of course, had TQ at the opening round 2 years ago, was it? I think at Barcelona he got the TQ. Maybe 3 years, but either way, definitely a front-running driver. Great to have Timo back. He's all smiles about Rallycross. He loves it. Now, the Hyundais this morning, Dan, in free practice, morning warm-up, 2 laps each. Three of the top 4 cars were Hyundai i20s. All of them were in the top 4.
Yeah, so really seeing fantastic performance from them. You know, I think they're going to be a dark horse later off in the season.
I had a chat this morning with Marcus Gronom, which is always a pleasure. He's walking through the paddock. He says, starts waving at me, calls me over, telling me enthusiastically about the pace he thinks that the i20s can have. He was happy with the pace yesterday, but he hinted at me that there might be a little bit more to come. Good to go then with Q3 race 2. Timo Scheider on the inside, Timur Timosyanov next to him, Liam Doran and Cyril Raymond making up the grid. If you look at the bottom, Doran and Cyril Raymond 13th and 14th, Timosyanov 11th. So Scheider is fully safe in, but is on 4 new boots. Timur and Liam have both gone with tyres on the left-hand side of the car. So we should be ready to go in just a few moments. Thumbs up from all the marshals. Everybody leaving the grid. And one last thumbs up. So here we go then. Revs are going to come up. Watch those start lights left-hand side of your screen. We know that this is a busy turn 1 with 5 cars. 4 makes it just that little bit busier. Here the car's clunking into gear. Great start all the way across grid. Scheider's hooked up nicely. Timosyanov gets a squeeze on Doran, drops back. Timosyanov slightly around the outside of Scheider. Oh, still Raymond can't quite make it work. Scheider avoiding the curb on the inside. Liam Doran trying to go inside him. Doran's managed to get around the outside of Timosyanov in turn 2. It's Scheider who leads Liam now with a nose up the inside. Liam Doran, a nose up the inside for Monster and DRX Cartel, but can't make it work. Scheider finds just a little bit of extra pace on the exit from turn 3. On Doran in the back of Scheider, so Scheider gets pushed wide. Timosyanov trying to go around the outside. Timo Scheider still holds on and Liam drops back to 3rd.
Yeah, look quite surprised at what happened there on the way into that chicane. It didn't seem like they were out-braking themselves too much, but I thought Liam drove a fantastic couple of corners to pick himself up. He didn't get the best of starts, but in those first 3 corners he managed to get himself up attacking for the lead, so good start.
Timosyanov goes Joker on lap 1, so Scheider will have lost some time. He's missing the front right wheel arch, and Liam Doran also carrying a little bit of damage to the front right. Doran's car is moving around a lot. We know Liam drives a bit like that, but obviously he's having, I guess, to dial this car into himself, whereas Backerud has a setting that he's used for a whole year. Yeah, in previous years we've seen Liam, when he's been running his own car in the DS3, he likes to run it super soft, so maybe playing around with settings, of course, is his first year in his car, so he runs it very soft. He's getting the most out of it. Timo Scheider through the left kink up towards the hairpin at the top of the circuit. Gets the Seat Ibiza turned in. We need to be watching Timosyanov in the background because we know just how fast that I-20 is. He's the only driver to have jokered. And now Liam Doran goes joker. So Doran's gone joker to try and protect himself from Timosyanov. And Timosyanov is going to get him quite clearly. Timosyanov's going to have to be careful here. He's on all over the back of Raymond and could be costing himself a bit of time here. So in the lead on the far side of the circuit, Timo Scheider still going well. Behind him, still Raymond in P2, where Timosyanov come back in. So now Timosyanov really needs Raymond to move out of the way. Scheider in the Ibiza up towards the hairpin again, on the brakes. And he's rotating the car around. Apologies at home, we've got some picture issues in the commentary box, so apologies if we're missing some action. You guys hopefully can see it at home. So Scheider on his way down towards the start-finish line. Raymond has gone through the chicane. Raymond has gone through the chicane now. So Timo Scheider leads. Just looking at the lap times here, Timosyanov has got a gap of 2.7 up into Timo Scheider and Timosyanov. So we think roughly the gap is 2.5, so it'll be interesting to see what we've got. So Timo Scheider leading this one in the Seat Ibiza. Front right corner missing from it. I don't know what's going on with the clock bottom left, slightly different than what we're expecting. And Scheider around the long left-hander on his last lap will have to take his joker lap now. So Timo Scheider splits right to take the joker lap. So he's going right and left through the joker, up and over the curves, runs the car out to the wall, but Timosyanov has absolutely destroyed them. So Timosyanov gets past, Scheider takes P2, Liam Doran takes P3. So Timosyanov rolling his way back towards the paddock. Apologies at home for our confusion. Hopefully you guys can see the pictures. It's so hot up here that we have a slight technical issue which we'll attempt to solve before the next race, so our apologies. Timosyanov taking it then with a 3:09.8. Timo Scheider in second place, Liam Doran third, but Derrida's time beaten there. Of course, Derrida was the leader on a 3:13, but now it's a 3:09.8. So 3:09.8 for Timosyanov, and he leads the session. So Scheider making a good start on the run down to turn 1. Timosyanov tried to take P2, but it was Doran who went around the outside.
Yeah, quite a bit of door handling there, you can see, and Liam managed to make an advantage of Scheider and Timosyanov running into each other.
So this was into the chicane. You can see Scheider trying to get through the chicane in front of Timosyanov. That was the contact, wasn't it, on the brakes, where it was slightly unusual. Maybe they misjudged the amount of grip that they had. Timo Scheider out front, doing a decent job. I think Timosyanov did the right thing to go joker early. That meant then that he was able to overlap them all. And when Timo went into the joker here, you could see that the Russian was just able to edge him and take the lead. So great job by Timosyanov. crowd enjoying the action here. And Neil Cole is grabbing Timozyanov. So let's go down and talk to the Russian driver now.
Timo, it's a race win, but you don't look very happy.
Yeah, we lose a lot of time on the first lap. The guys in front of me, I tried to do safe turn into the first corner, tried to lead there, but yeah, it was close for everybody, and the guys done mistake on the left speed corner after the long straight. They done the mistake. I need to drive around, but I think Timo has some problems. Yeah, we lose more than 2 seconds on the first lap. That was critical for the race.
Yeah, good luck in Q4. Thank you.
Absolutely red hot here for the fans. They'll have some air conditioning they can disappear off into. Luckily for them, rallycross races are only short, so they haven't got to stand out in the heat for too long. You can see the last of the cars pulling up to the grid. Boiling hot in there, boiling hot. Fantastic view of Yas Marina in the background there, the famous hotel that lights up at night, and the grandstands for Formula One. 5 cars in this one, very much looking forward to seeing what happens on the run into turn 1. Right then, Q3, race 3, let's do this. Kevin Hansen on the inside, so fast in Q1, yesterday's 3rd overall after Q2. Rokas Bakiuska, 2nd on the grid. Then Baumanis, Gulan Shisharit and Christian Sabo. New tyres for a couple of the guys, so Shisharit and Baumanis taking new tyres on the outside. So Dan, that says they're looking for performance, whereas a couple of the guys in the previous race ran them on the inside, which says they're looking to scrub them in. So plenty of tyre tactics going on. Let's see what happens in this one. 5 very quick drivers about to send it down into turn 1. Here we go. Oh, bad start for Shisharit. He dropped back Bakiuska as well, so it's Baumanis versus Kevin Hansen on the run down to turn 1. Sabo up the inside of Baumanis. Thinks better of it. Kevin Hansen defensive. Kevin went defensive yesterday against Scheider up at turn 3, and he does again. So Kevin defensive. Everybody on that inside line. Kevin Hansen now round and on the gas towards the outside of the track. Kevin Hansen with a clear and clean hole shot.
Yeah, smart moves there from Kevin Hansen just to keep himself out in front and not have the traffic in front of him. Covering off his lines and able to get out away in front.
So Baumanis, you can see Baumanis' car pitching around just a little bit more. I must say the new start car looks absolutely stunning, but he's having to defend now hard from Sabo. And onto the back of the pack already is Bakiuska. So Bakiuska in the Skoda is right up in the back of them. Kevin off the drop-off. That is a hard drop-off there as well for Baumanis. So Baumanis' car not looking the most stable out there at the moment, Dan.
No, maybe it could be running slightly too soft. You know, we're seeing hard impacts coming off of the jump, and it's rolling around a lot. So you've got to be careful here not to pitch it too hard off the jump and cause some damage.
I think he's holding Sabo up a little bit. You can see at the exit there, it doesn't look like he is, but Sabo looks like he might have more pace in terms of corner speed, but can't find any air. So Sabo really, I think, needs to consider Joker now.
Yeah, so he can go into the Joker now, especially because we have Gulan Shisharit have a bad start, and I can see out the commentary position here, he's going around quite slowly. So Sabo could break away into clean air here and try and catch down Kevin in the end.
So Sabo does go Joker, exactly what we thought he would. Bakiuska behind him hasn't jokered, so only Shisharit has joked. Shisharit, as Dan said, is circulating relatively slowly. So Kevin Hansen from Baumanis, Bakiuska, and then Sabo. So how many cars do you think Sabo can make up? Yesterday we saw Backrud, didn't we? Disappeared off into the Joker earlier and hammered in a couple of great laps to make it up.
Yeah, so I mean, we know that this Audi has the pace, so he's got that little bit of clear air in front of him now, and he's got somebody to chase. That's the important thing. He's got someone in front of him that when he sees them brake, he knows he can brake that little bit extra and things like that. So he's really going to be laying down the hammer.
It's always nice, isn't it, or kind of easier to chase than it is to be chased. You know, you're watching your mirrors, you get distracted by what they're doing. Are they trying to make a pass? No such problems for Kevin. And Kevin as well, a long way over to the side as we see into the Joker goes Baumanis. So Sabo then was up behind Baumanis, and I think this is going to give an indicator of the fact he was a little bit quicker. Baumanis responding. I think Baumanis went there because he knew Sabo was quick, but Sabo's got the job done. Good job.
Yeah, Baumanis had to go then to stand any chance of trying not to let Sabo have the overlap, but Sabo put in a real clean lap there and managed to edge himself in front of Baumanis.
Big braking zone into that chicane where we saw Oliver Bennett roll just a few minutes ago. Kevin Hansen untroubled out front. What did Kevin do yesterday? P2 and P6. His fastest time was a 3:06.9. Fastest time of the day was a 3:06.4. So what's he going to do this time? Into the joker lap goes Kevin Hansen. Right and then left, he's going to keep it tight. In the background, everybody else squabbling, but Hansen way out in front, and he stops the clocks at 3:06.9. So he does the almost exact same time. We're talking a couple of hundredths difference to what Kevin Hansen did yesterday. So great job by Hansen Jr. We've kind of got Hansen Jr. and Hansen Jr., haven't we, with Timmy and Kevin, compared to Kenneth, of course, their legendary dad. But brilliant and untroubled drive by Kevin Hansen. Christian Sabo took second. Here you go, confirmation of the result, 3:06.9. Sabo in P2 from Balmanis, Bachuska and Shisharit. Shisharit with an issue, bad start, and then not a great run. But these four guys slotting into the top five. Timozyanov, who was quickest, is now fourth. So Sabo, I think, could have gone a little bit quicker. So this is suggesting Sabo's on a very similar pace to Bakarud. Take us through this start, Dan.
Yeah, so unfortunately there we can see the GCK car not quite getting the advantage, but Szabo making the wise decision to come from the outside, cut back on the inside to try and find a space for himself. He didn't want to get hung out to dry.
And these guys, although there's a tiny bit of touching in there, nowhere near as much contact as we saw in the previous race, and that's what costs you time. And of course for Kevin, out front, none of those issues at all.
No, of course, and you know, these guys have all got lots of racing experience. They know to not get into the back of one another or else they're going to be losing time.
So Kevin with two good runs yesterday. The time that he did on this one was good enough for second in Q1. What will it be good enough for this time? So Kevin rolling back to the paddock. Yes, there's the Balmanis fans as well. Recognise the shirts. So there's loads of Latvians follow the World Rallycross Championship, which is great. And of course, they've got two drivers to cheer on here in Balmanis and Reinis Nitish. He was absolutely flying yesterday. Great, the cars are rolling by just underneath us here. It's such a fantastic place to have a commentary box. We do know we're very lucky, Dan. We have got the best seats in the house. We got the pictures here anyway, but we can see most of the track, so it's great.
Yeah, I mean, I would have preferred to have maybe a bit of air conditioning.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone at home can see the sweat running off our faces, but apart from that, we got the best sight.
Kids these days, man, eh? Good lad, Dad. So we've got Neil Cole. I can see him just down beside us, and he is with Kevin Hansen.
Kevin, quickest so far today. That would seem to have been almost the perfect race for you.
Yeah, from outside, I think it was looking really good. I didn't have any spotter on the radio. We had some problem. Somebody or something was pushing the buttons. I could not hear my spotter for the complete run. And normally I like a big push on the radio. So I had to manage. I think you need to handle all situations. It will become many times like this during a season. So this run was really good. I think I did what I could. So let's see how it holds up for my brother.
Well, impressive to do it without a spotter. Well done.
Thank you.
Sensible choice, I think, from Kevin to joker on the last lap. We've been talking to some of the spotters and drivers, and of course, if you come off the joker lap, your pace into turn one is completely different, so it's a totally different braking zone.
Yeah, exactly. And if you were to joker on the last lap, it eliminates having to try and learn that braking zone, because you know the joker lap you only do it once per race. So if you don't have to try, if it's not a factor you have to try and perfect, then get it done on the last lap and you can just flat out over the line.
So tactically, if you're in the lead, really joker 4 or possibly joker 6 in semis and finals, because of that slightly different braking zone, it's an inconsistency you can take out.
Yeah, it just reduces the risk to the whole race.
Great stuff. Kevin doing a good job. He does like a big push. Graham Rodemark is back this year as his spotter. He was his spotter at Peugeot Hansen, Team Peugeot as well, and prior to that at Hansen Motorsports. I've been with him a long time. Final race then of Q3. We're on to the fast guys. Look at that. That's the run down to turn one for this lot. Timmy Hansen on the inside from Andreas Bakarud, Reinis Nitish, Niklas Gronholm and Anton Markman. That is the who's who of the Rallycross youngsters who are coming through. Two new boots for Anton on the outside. You can see where these guys are. Reinis is the lowest in 7th, and that's because he had a puncture yesterday, which delayed him very slightly. But P1 and P2 after the first two qualifying sessions, Hansen and Bakarud. Looking at your feedback on social media, I think these are two of the guys that you think are the favourites for the World Championship. Let's see who wins the race down to turn one, and indeed who's going to put themselves on pole for the semi-finals, and maybe even take the first win of the year here at Yas Marina. Very even start across the grid. You can't separate them at all. 5 in a line. Markland backs out first of all. Hansen late in the break, trying to go around the outside. Nicholas Gronholm. Oh, 2 wheels for Markland. Clips the curve a little bit too much. Out turn 1. Hansen backwards, going to get P2. Gronholm slots in, and Nitish has to drop into 4th.
Unlucky there for Markland. I thought he made such a wise move to get himself out from the outside, tuck in and try and find a gap, but he just got squeezed there and touched those orange curves we saw Ollie flip himself on earlier and just dropped him back.
So Timmy leading from Andreas. Andreas now needs to apply some pressure, doesn't he, and decide, does he go joker, get himself some space? Dan, when you're up against 5 quick guys like this, you can joker first if you want, and he's in the prime position to joker first because no one will choose to in front of him.
No, and he is not going to be held up. So as we see Niklas Gronholm in the background go for the joker lap. So
Hansen sideways on that jump landing. So the jump landing unsettles Hansen's 208. The Audi is right up underneath him. Andreas entirely under the rear wing. This is great news for Gronholm. So Gronholm now, the car in front of him is Rainis Nitish.
Timmy Hansen is going to be feeling the pressure. You can see Andreas is looking left, right, all over, trying to find a gap to get past him.
Oh, Andreas so late on the brakes. You can see the dust flying up. Dry conditions here in Abu Dhabi. The tarmac is fairly dirty most of the way round, especially when they're dragging the dirt off the dirt sections as well. Hansen and Bakker are up to the hairpin. Both, though, taking the standard line. And interesting is that Bakker chose not to use the tactical joker on lap 1 and disappear off. He wants to follow Hansen. So what in the background can Gronholm do to close that gap down into the joker? Backerwood's gone, so Backerwood goes joker this time. Hansen not so sideways on the landing. And Gronholm, is he going to get him? Gronholm at the inside of Backerwood. Backerwood trying to come round, shuts the door. Great job by Backerwood's squad.
You can just see how much more speed these guys carry off the joker lap, and Andreas, especially coming from a wider line, was able to just carry the momentum into turn 1.
One more lap and Gronholm would have got him. You've kind of got to respond. If somebody quick goes, you're going to have to go next lap because the lap is long enough to make some time up.
Exactly, and with Niklas having clean air as well, he was just able to fully push whilst Backerwood was being held up maybe by Timmy Hansen.
Hansen looking at the gap. 3.7 to Backerwood. It would be incredibly close, look. 87 thousandths in between them if he were to joker now, and he does. So Hansen goes joker now. Hansen has gone to respond. Nitish goes with him. This is the merge for the win. Remember, there's another lap to go, but it's going to be hard to pass. Oh, he's flat out. Backerwood! Oh, massive contact! Backerwood into the side of Timmy. I think that's way too hard for Andreas Backerwood, I have to say. Massive damage to the side of the Peugeot. The Peugeot is damaged and is crawling around. That was a huge hit from Andreas Backerwood, who's parked at the side of the road. I hope they're both okay. Timmy Hansen continues round in the Peugeot, but that was incredibly hard into the side of the car. Andreas Backerwood climbing from the car. I think he's okay. Timmy Hansen is on a bit of a go-slow on the far side of the circuit. The whole of the pack are up underneath him. Look at the left-hand side of the car. That merge was incredibly quick, Dan.
God, it's just so fast on the merge here. I think a little bit naughty there from Andreas. You should have seen him, should have known he was coming, should have been a call on the radio from the spotter, so maybe he could have been a bit more cautious.
Bit of contact up at the hairpin. Somebody's in the wall up there. So Timmy Hansen's going to take it from Niklas Gronholm. Oh, my God, and Backerwood's car still in the way. OK, so they avoid the car at the finish line. Nitish still to cross the line. Nitish was the one who got caught out up at the hairpin. He's going to come down across the line now. Backerwood is out of the car and standing. There he is, bent over in the centre. So Andreas Backerwood, look, it's maybe not fair for us to call it from here. It was a very, very hard contact between the two of them. They're two drivers pushing as hard as they can. Hansen takes it, but the time is slow because of the damage to the car. 3:11.3. Niklas Gronholm with a 3:11.5, and then Mark, and you can see, look, the times are not there. Kevin Hansen wins the qualifying session. So Kevin Hansen wins Q3 here in Abu Dhabi, and we have question marks, I think, over whether Backerwood and Timmy Hansen will be able to continue. That contact was so heavy that I wonder if Timmy Hansen's roll cage will be damaged. Let's see. So much going on. Right, there's Backerwood's car. Front right corner completely collapsed from the contact. Backerwood obviously winded. I felt he came in really hot, Dan, but he's trying to protect the position. What did you think?
Of course, you know, we've seen mergers like this in other places, maybe not with such a high speed, but I can see his logic. I can see he was trying to come out and to block Timmy, but, you know, it's almost blind for the pair of them coming into that single corner.
Right, let's take another look back at this. We all know the incident we need to see, but talking about the start, first of all, Hansen, look, Gronholm tries to come around the outside. Oh, yeah, Markland didn't have anywhere to go and just ends up clipping the curb on the inside. So he drops back. Now, I thought Backerwood might joker early, but he chose to follow Timmy, and you can see the pace of the two of them is extraordinarily close. And it was Gronholm who, in fact, went to the joker first. There he goes. So Gronholm puts in a good lap. Timmy a little bit sideways at this point. and then it was Backerud, wasn't it, who jokers on the next lap. So there's Backerud coming out. He just gets, so that's the merge there. And you can see Niklas has retarded the speed of the car because he has to make turn 1.
Yeah.
He wants to defend, but he's taken the speed off. Now, contrast that with what happens here. So Timmy is on the joker lap, and Andreas is about to come through on the standard lap. So here's Backerud over the jump, Dan.
Yeah, so, you can see the pace that both of them have got. Maybe he should have been on the... Oh, he's coming in super hot, super hot. He was never going to make turn 1 at that speed. Never.
That's my feelings too, unfortunately. So Timmy there with a big impact in the side of the car. Backerud parked at the side of the road. I understand he wanted to defend the position, but it just the trajectory and the speed of the car, can't see would have made it. But there we go, there's another look at it. Yeah, it's a big hit. It's a big hit. Well, most importantly, hoping Timmy Hansen and Andreas Backerud are okay. Nothing else matters. That's the most important thing here. But Kevin Hansen wins the session. Backerud's car with a huge amount of damage on the front right corner. That is absolutely massive. That impact is huge. I don't know if that's fixable, Dan.
No, I'm a bit concerned at all. And look,
this is what worries me. I think the roll cage will be damaged. That's too far in. That's too far in.
Got the door sills a cave right in as well.
If that is damaged, Timmy has the door. I don't even know if he'd open the door. I suspect he will be a little bit sore. And Liam Doran is down in front of the commentary box, looking at the car because the car now the wheel's fallen off. Doran doesn't look very happy. So Liam is down on pit lane. There's the wheel they're going back for. That's just fallen off the car as they're recovering it. Liam, of course, Andreas' teammate this year. Literally underneath our commentary position. So massive drama here. This isn't really what we want to see, Dan. I want to see great racing, but I think that was, that was an unfortunate incident.
Yeah, it's not what we want to see, especially in Q3 as well. These guys have still got another qualifying race to go, let alone, they're not even in the semi-finals yet, and they're fighting this hard,
Kevin, I think Timmy's going to have to climb out of the wrong side of the car, is he? First of all, they're checking he's okay. So getting him out of the car.
Okay.
Yeah, he's upset. He's upset. He's okay, but he is upset. They're really close, the Hansen family. Really, really close. Kevin will have been worried about Timmy. Timmy made it round to the finish. I'll say the car was damaged. It's whether or not he... Dan, you don't have... all these competition cars are as safe as they can possibly be, but that's a very big hit. And I say, I personally think the roll cage is damaged and that won't go any further. But, obviously, you'll have to join us for Q4 to find out. I say, most importantly, there's the run down to the merge. It is super high speed. Bits of the cars still down in the road. There's the merge, smack in the middle of your screen now. So Backerud wanted to go deep, didn't he? Go deep, and basically he wanted to get to that point before Timmy. I actually think if he'd got to the point before Timmy, he'd have gone so wide anyway, he'd have ended up going down the finish road. My only other thought is, did Backerud think it was lap 4?
Yeah.
If he thought it was lap 4, because obviously Timmy's basically braking and rotating the car across the front of him, Andreas has then hit him. If he thought it was lap 4, then the two cars would have gone straight on. That would be my one thought about the speed at which Backerud took into that.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be hearing his thoughts at some point. And well, for one thing, I hope they're both okay. We saw Andreas walking out across the track, and he looked a bit winded and injured. So, and Timmy there as well, having to be helped out by his brother Kevin. And yeah, I just hope they're both okay. I have no idea what speed they're going to be travelling at that point, but you can see on the cameras it was fast.
Right, drama then at the end of Q3, but I think it's about time we had a look at where the standings are as we stand. Here we go then, after Q3. At the top of the table, Timmy Hansen still there despite the issue, but will that car be fit to return for Q4? Kevin Hansen, his brother, in P2. Niklas Gronholm is up to 3rd. Baumanis, Sabo, Scheider. Backerud drops from P2 to P7, but is the car even fixable? Timazyanov is in 8th. Bottom end of the board, Bachuska. Markland, Nitish and Shisharit are in at the minute. Doran, Raymond, Paul Tree, Guillaume de Ridder are out, along with Ollie Bennett, who, of course, has rolled his car as well. So high drama in Q3. Wow, OK, that was unexpected. Hot everything, hot action, hot weather. Yeah, interesting session. You're going to need to join us later on, obviously, to figure out just exactly what's happened. We're going to be heading off to the paddock now, and we'll bring you that scoop. In the meantime, let's find out where Neil Cole is.
Well, high drama here. Now, The engineer has managed to get the car started again. They've got to get this car back to the paddock just to see if there's any way that that can make it to Q4. Now Q4 is only about half an hour away, and we will be live streaming it for you. Obviously, we'll keep an eye on social media to make sure that Timmy Hansen looks okay. He was clearly winded, clearly very upset because he would have not been expecting that impact from Andreas backward. I'll just go and check if Andreas is okay and Timmy are okay, but fundamentally, it looks like both of those cars may well be too damaged to carry on. You'll have to come back in about half an hour for qualifying 4 to see who will make it to the grid. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you very soon.